Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. A Landers woman was arrested on suspicion of carjacking last week, and she has a history of arrests related to automotive crimes in the high desert. Sonia Monique Zink Bitcon, 31, was contacted by sheriff's deputies from the Morongo Basin Station on Friday near 5th Avenue and Forluna in Landers. She was arrested on suspicion of carjacking, possession of brass knuckles, and interfering with a wireless communication device. Zink Bitcon was booked into the West Valley Detention Center on $120,000 bail. At an arraignment in Joshua Tree Court yesterday, she entered not guilty pleas for charges of felony carjacking and misdemeanor communication device interference. She was arrested in 2017 for allegedly fleeing from deputies through Landers on a stolen dirt bike, and again in 2021 for suspicion of leading deputies on a pursuit through Landers and possession of methamphetamine. The 29 Palms City Council gathers this evening to take a hard look at city finances. Reporter Heather Clisby has a look at their agenda.
Tonight, the 29 Palms City Council faces a money-focused agenda, starting with an audit report on federal awards for fiscal year 2023-2024. During that time, the city spent over $4.8 million in federal funds, so an independent audit is required. The council will also hear mid-year budget updates on the General Fund, Capital Projects Fund, and special funds for the same fiscal time period. The funding reviews continue as the council will focus on Project Phoenix funds and the Enterprise Fund. The city has a remaining balance of over $354,000 from Project Phoenix, which has not yet been designated for use. Finally, the council will address community events grants, specifically requests for $10,000 for the 29 Palms Art Gallery Gala Dinner and $5,000 for ongoing programs at Sky's the Limit Observatory and Nature Center. The meeting takes place on Tuesday, February 27th at 6 p.m. at City Hall, 6136 Adobe Road. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
The Yucca Valley Planning Commission meets tonight to discuss upcoming developments for the town, including a new coffee shop. Here is reporter Adeline J. Wells with key points on tonight's agenda.
The Yucca Valley Planning Commission will review the landscape and irrigation plans for Starbucks West at tonight's meeting. The popular coffee house has been looking to expand in Yucca Valley for the last year, planning a second location in addition to the current shop on Warren Vista Avenue. If approved, the landscape plans will work to beautify the southeast corner of 29 Palms Highway and Barbary Avenue. Proposed plants include 2 mesquite trees, palo verde trees, and various colorful desert shrubs. The Planning Commission will also review the General Plan Annual Housing Element Report from 2023. This report notes the number and type of dwelling units completed last year so that evaluation can be made as to whether the town is on track to meet their housing and development goals. The Yucca Valley Planning Commission meeting is open to the public and meets tonight at 6 p.m. at the Yucca Valley Community Center. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Adeline J. Wells.
Directors at the Bighorn Desert View Water Agency meet in special session at 6 p.m. tonight. Reporter Mike Lipsitz is here to tell us what's on the agenda.
Directors at the Bighorn Desert View Water Agency will hold a public interview of William Aldridge in hopes of filling the agency's open board seat. Aldridge brings more than 30 years' experience as a plumber and a keen interest in water conservation and irrigation. As the sole applicant for the vacant board seat, Aldridge's selection is fairly certain. Also this evening, the board will adjourn to closed session to discuss anticipated litigation. Tonight's meeting takes place at the agency's board meeting office under the old water tower on Cherokee Trail in Landers. Remote participation is also an option. See this story at Z107.7fm.com for a link to the complete agenda and instructions on attending via Zoom or telephone. Reporting for Z107.7 News, this is Mike Lipsitz.
As mentioned by Heather Clisby, the 29 Palms Art Gallery is hosting a gala fundraiser event next week, but time is running out to buy tickets. The Gallery Gala Dinner will feature incredible food, live music, entertainment, auctions, and more at the Joshua Tree Retreat Center on March 8th. Auction items will include hotel retreats, business services, artwork, local attraction tickets, and more. The gallery's fundraising goal is $10,000, which will be used to help ensure that the beautiful space is preserved for the next generations. Tickets are available right now at the gallery's website, 29palmsartgallery.com. The event kicks off at 5 p.m. at the Joshua Tree Retreat Center on March 8th. Resort developers with their sights set on a chunk of land in the Indian Cove neighborhood will host a second community meeting this week for residents. Reporter Heather Clisby rejoins us with a look at the project and tomorrow's meeting.
Of Land, resort developers, formerly known as Yonder, have sent out postcards to residents of Indian Cove inviting them to the second community meeting. The developers are proposing an all-cabin resort along Highway 62 near Lear Avenue. The invite states that the developers have incorporated some community feedback into their plans. Many residents have publicly expressed their resistance to yet another resort plan in their quiet community. The project would feature 130 cabins, a main lodge, a secondary lodge, food and beverage space, and another 18,000 square feet of employee housing and back-of-house space. The resort would also feature outdoor music from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. and an outdoor movie screen. The community meeting will take place on Wednesday, February 28th from 5:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. at the Elks Lodge, 6501 Elk Trail in 29 Palms. Complimentary refreshments will be provided. For more info, look for the links in this story at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
And finally, Man of La Mancha begins its run on March 1st at Theater 29. Arts and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas tells you to experience this poignant story of one man's ultimate quest.
Man of La Mancha, one of the world's most popular musicals, will open at Theater 29 on March 1st, playing weekends through March 17th. Set in Spain in 1597, Man of La Mancha follows the story of Miguel de Cervantes, a prisoner awaiting trial by the infamous Spanish Inquisition. During his imprisonment, Cervantes and his fellow prisoners act out the story he has written about elderly Alonso Quijana, who renames himself Don Quixote and goes on a quest to right all wrongs in the world. Joe Chaplin, Adam Shows, and Annalisa Pilecki headlined this production, helmed by Gary Daigneault, Bianca Stoker, and Lisa Hodgson. Man of La Mancha contains mature content and sexual situations and is not appropriate for children under 13. Tickets are available for opening night and the remaining run at theater29.org or by calling the Theater 29 box office at 760-361-4151. Reporting for Z107.7, this is arts and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas.
That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear news happening, let us know about it. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmetz.